Trooper and his Horse. As a trooper was currying his horse, he noticed that one of the shoe nails had dropped out, yet he postponed for the present striking in another nail. Soon after, he was summoned by sound of trumpet to join his corps, which was commanded to advance rapidly and charge the enemy. In the heat of the action, the loose shoe fell off. His horse became lame, stumbled, and threw his rider to the ground. The trooper was immediately slain by the enemy. Small duties neglected become great perils. The Mice and the Trap. Once upon a time, some mice saw a bit of toasted bacon hanging up in a very little room, the door of which, being open, enticed them to fall to work on the dainty morsel with greedy appetites. But two or three of them took particular notice that there was but one way into the room, and therefore but one way to get out of it, so that if the door by misfortune or art should chance to be shut, they would all inevitably be taken. They could not therefore bring themselves to enter, but said that they would rather content themselves with homely fare in plenty than for the sake of a dainty bit run the risk of being taken and lost forever. The other mice, however, declared that they saw no danger, and ran into the room and began to eat the bacon with great delight. But they soon heard the door fall down, and saw that they were all taken. Then the fear of approaching death so seized them that they found no relish for the delicious food, but stood shivering and fasting until the cook who had set the trap came and put an end to them. The wise mice, who had contented themselves with their usual food, fled into their holes, and by that means preserved their lives. He who embarks upon an enterprise should be able to see his way out of it. The Crow and the Sheep. A troublesome crow seated herself on the back of a sheep. The sheep, much against his will, carried her backward and forward for a long time, and at last said, "If you had treated a dog in this way, you would have had your deserts from his sharp teeth." To this the crow replied, "I despise the weak, and yield to the strong. I know whom I may bully, and whom I must flatter, and I thus prolong my life to a good old age." The contemptible will ever be imposed upon. The Thrush and the Fowler. A thrush was feeding on a myrtle tree, and did not move from it, on account of the deliciousness of its berries. A fowler, observing her staying so long in one spot, having well bird-limed his reeds, caught her. The thrush, being at the point of death, exclaimed, "O foolish creature that I am! For the sake of a little pleasant food, I have deprived myself of my life." Do not lose sight of the future in the present.